Hello everyone, and welcome to your reading. So today I channeled a song by Alanis Morissette, and it's called You Learn. But before I get into all that, I want to be the first to tell you that you're so beautiful and you're so needed in this world. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing your time and your energy with me. I value you. The divine values you. And thank you so much for being here. I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. So I will put a link to the song in the description box below. And it's basically, she, throughout the whole song, talks about, you know, I recommend getting your heart trampled on by anyone. I recommend walking around naked in your living room. Swallow it down like a jagged little pill. Wait till the dust settles. You love, you learn. You cry, you learn. You lose, you learn. You bleed, you learn. You scream, you learn. So it's basically one of those songs. And I don't know where this is going to go, this reading. Maybe it's, you know, because I don't think there's going to be, you know, maybe you're reminiscing on stuff you've learned, but why would there be a video about that? I mean, there certainly could. You know, maybe somebody needs some answers as to, you know, why some things that they had to go through. But this could also be lessons someone else is learning, okay? Because I've been channeling for a while that you're going to align with somebody. So it may not be about you and your lessons, you know, but it could be. It could be both. The decks that I were guided to use here, I have the Twisted Oracle and the Twin Flame Journey Oracle. And this is for stuff that maybe it talks about here, lessons or something that someone's gone through and things that experienced. And then we have here the Ancestor deck, which is sort of like advice of how to help cope with if someone's going through this, or maybe, you know, something like that, or maybe someone else external to you is trying to find ways to cope, because we have Aquarians who watch here, we have cross watchers who watch here. And then we have the Ascension deck, which would ultimately kind of like show you, yeah, maybe the lesson was learned and, you know, congratulations, moving on. Or maybe it's, this is what was needed to learn, or this is where you're at. So I was also guided to close out with a different, it's the same deck, the Map Oracle, but in addition to that, also Divine Beloved, it's an Oracle deck. So I'll be closing out with those two. And the reading, I'm going to use the tarot cards of the Urban Tarot and the Mermaids. So we're going to get into the prayer about these lessons that we're learning, that we acknowledge them, because it does talk about in the song, when the smoke clears, when the dust settles, maybe we don't understand why we go through what we go through, or why it keeps repeating. But in the big picture of things, or later in life, sometimes we get it, we understand, we see what we learned, we see why we went through things. And like I said, this could also be external to you. It could be someone realizing something here. But I'm going to pray about these lessons, all right? And that we learn them, and that we don't hold on to any sort of negativity or bitterness from them, whoever it may be for you or someone external to you. Our Father in heaven, I want to thank you for the many blessings that you give to each and every one of us every day. Thank you so much. Gratitude from myself on behalf of all of us here. I also want to continue to ask for protection from evil eye, harm for ourselves, and protection from harm for our loved ones. Please keep us all safe. I want to ask that anyone here who is having trouble learning lessons, anyone here who is having trouble understanding why they've went through everything that they have, or to try to discern what the lesson is from a situation, I'm asking that you help all of us individuals here who have any problems discerning what the lesson we're learning, to see the higher lesson, the higher meaning, not the lower meaning, but the highest meaning of the lesson, and why we had to experience what we went through. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. So I'm going to start out with the Twin Flame Journey Oracle. I mean, it's a great deck that you don't really need to be in a twin flame journey. It's just, it has life lessons and life situations. And it's not intended to take, it's It's not really intended to be read in reverse. Neither is the other oracle deck, but I'll just use my judgment when it comes out. I do have a mini deck if I need to clarify these. So show me what I need to see for Aquarius or a cross watcher who is watching for an Aquarius. The roles can be reversed. It's just energy, and it's the energy that's in your field. If you're connecting on this or near this frequency, timelines are different. This could be something you went through, you're currently going through, or that you could go through. Like I said, it depends on your frequency and where you're at. A little bit of blockage there. On the bottom, we have healing, okay? And this is about healing, healing chakras, healing the self, raising the ascension, okay? Becoming on a higher frequency, a higher vibration. Fifth dimension, okay? Twin flame. All right, we talked about a twin flame in yesterday's reading. This is free will. It came out reverse, you know. So I'm just going to read two things that I think from that when it comes out reverse. Now, maybe you've been working on your ascension, your healing, okay? Even though this is a twin flame deck, this also has soulmate cards. It doesn't necessarily, you have to be dealing with one, but you could. Because I have been channeling some twin flame energy lately. So take it how it resonates. If you are, you're fine. And if you're not, it doesn't matter. It's a close connection either way. But we have summertime. Now, don't pay a lot of attention to summer. It could be, but something could be significant about summer. But don't hold on to summer as a timeline. Don't get it in your head that, yeah, this is going to happen at summertime. Now, if you met in the summer, if there's something significant about the summer, if there's someone's birthday, that's a whole different scenario. But I don't trust tarot and time. I just don't. I don't trust it because tarot, the world's time does not add up or line up with divine timing at all. So I don't trust that. But fifth dimension, twin flame and free will. This did come out reverse. So maybe there was a situation where you were ghosted or someone ghosted here. Usually the divine masculine will be the ghoster. Okay, usually. And that can be any gender. It's not, you know, it's not gender specific. It's energetic. And the free will, when they decide to ghost, they can go off in another direction. And it's all for a higher purpose, okay? Which would link up to this song, You Live, You Learn. Ultimately, when you're twin flame and you align, if you align and you don't go through a runner chaser phase, it's usually because you guys are ascended to that point and you align, okay? You would probably both be very highly spiritual, not necessarily religious. And the reason I say that is because the level of consciousness for this twin flame physical union, it's pretty high. And to give you an example, there are very highly elevated people. There are people with very high amount of consciousness to them. And I always felt I was one of them, okay? But when I met my twin flame, they were a catalyst, and I actually started ascending more. So they were my catalyst, and hopefully I am their catalyst for their ascension, okay? Hopefully I'm ascending enough. But there are some people who feel like just changing the career is enough. Oh, okay, well, I'm no longer a cashier. I'm ascended. I'm doing my dream, what makes me happy. That is very good, and that's a very, very good high part of ascension. But I just want to let you know that I work with very ascended people, okay? I've had people come to me who are yogis, okay? I've had people come to me who are doctors. I've had people come to me who are therapists, psychologists. Okay, those are very highly ascended people. Also having the same sort of situation, even though every twin flame situation is unique, the twin flame storyline is pretty much very predictable. And that is the highly ascended that you are and that they are, there is this union. Okay, and you're always in union with your soul because your twin flame is yourself in another body. But there's a physical union. There's a physical, something can come together, a friendship, a romance. It can be whatever you want it to be, that you deemed it to be in your chart. The potential is there. But just ascending to that level of having that higher, living your purpose or doing what you love, that is a form of ascension. But also remember who you are. You are not your avatar. And a lot of us get caught up in our avatar. And we can get caught up in the worldly things. You are a soul. And something created your soul. And it's working on that ascension. That is the highest level ascension. Because you would think, what would a doctor ascend to? What would a yogi ascend to? What would a psychologist ascend to? What would a person so highly elevated already ascend to? Creator, source. That is where you will really come into a physical union. What I've learned in my twin flame course that I took a few years ago is that when you ascend, your twin flame ascends, because it's your soul, it's one soul. But if you're in an energy of waiting or in an energy of not growing, guess what? So are they. So that's why it's important. And I had a whole conversation with Spirit this morning about ascension and growth. And that a lot of people do get very comfortable. People will get comfortable being in a relationship or a marriage where they don't love the person, but they're comfortable with the amenities. You know, they got the house, the car. They've got things just the way they like it, but it's just like something's missing. If something's not connecting, or people are off living their different lives, but they share this beautiful space together. But the energy's not there, the connection's not there. But they're not alone. So that would also talk about some sort of abandonment issue. I don't want to be abandoned. I don't want to be left alone. So I'll just stay in a connection where I don't feel a connection. But are we growing? That's the question. Do we grow when we're in these connections where we're just sort of comfortable? We know that no matter what, we can have an argument. They stay around. No matter what, they'll be there. But are we growing? How is that pushing us to do anything when we just it's just kind of keeping us in that mold? So let's continue. I don't want to talk forever, but we got shocking news. So for those of you, and we have Love Child on the bottom of the deck, and True Colors, Parting, Bad Choices. So, all right. I have to talk about this because, in spiritual gifts, I have to talk about this because this is stuff that comes out in the comments. So I do believe it's meant to come out here. There are some people who are dealing with a person, whether they're twin flame or not, that, under pressure here. Some people are dealing with a person who they've had to move on because they got somebody pregnant, or they got stuck in a situation with a karmic. And it doesn't have to have anything to do with the baby. I'm just going to say that because Love Child. And this is a common thing. This is what I say about these twin flame storylines. Common theme is your twin comes in if you're not in that highest ascension that you can be, right? You can be all that you can be, but if you're not in that highest ascension that you actually came here to be, twin flame comes in, twin flame goes back out and ghosts you. You'll have this 6-week, maybe a couple months. If you get lucky, you could stay together for some years, because there are false twin flames who will mimic the twin flame, but they're karmic. And that'd be like a lot of arguments and a lot of sex. A lot of arguments and a lot of sex, and just, it's not supportive. It becomes a routine. But the twin flame, the true twin flame, will come in, cause the awakening, right? They don't come in and tell you to wake up. They don't shake you or nothing like that. They come in, you get all addicted to their energy, and you want more and you want more. It's like the best drug around. And then they leave. They ghost. They go off in another direction. They go get someone pregnant. They get in another relationship. They go back to someone from the past. Whatever. They do whatever. That is to cause your awakening. And at some point, and even though you might dream about them, you might be hanging out in the fifth dimension, because remember, your twin flame's not your enemy. It's you. It's you in another body. And it's you trying to teach yourself, or actually trying to make yourself awaken. It's you trying to awaken yourself, because these other karmic situations in your life didn't do it. Okay, this is the goal is your soul, and I learned that in my twin flame course. Your soul is your goal. And if your soul is comfortable in a situation, it's not growing, your twin flame will come in. If they are incarnated, if you're in another body here, and it will awaken you. It will cause it. You'll start awakening, but not right away, because you're going to want your twin flame back. You're going to be addicted to your twin flame. You're going to want that energy, and you're going to want more. And then you're going to feel angry, because you're going to be like, they went off in another direction. We have this close connection. They went off in another direction. So then it's stages. You go from that addicted stage, ghosting, angry, can stay angry for quite a while. This all depends on how long it takes you to detach. That's actually why I had to take my twin flame course. I had to detach. You can get hooked on a person just like you can get hooked on a drug. And you can get hooked on anyone. It doesn't even have to be a twin flame. For me, it was that. Working on your ascension, becoming the highest vibration you can, ascending to the Creator. All right? Trying to expand, learn. When it comes to the universe, there are questions unanswered, but yet we're just comfortable doing our 9-to-5 job or whatever we do, or getting our retirement or our disability. Like, why did we stop asking questions? Why did we stop seeking the higher truth? Why did we stop? If we do, right? Why? The ones who don't most likely will align. Your ascension then will cause their ascension. One day they're going to get tired of drinking. One day they're going to get tired of being addicted to, being a sex addict. One day they're going to get tired of being in a karmic relationship they're unhappy and miserable. Because you're the muse they follow. Well then, one day then there is that alignment as you're both ascending here to source, ascending to the higher knowledge and the intelligence of the universe. You go from parallel or polar opposites to aligning physically. These are some of the lessons I had to get learned, though by you or them. Some of them will have a love child experience and then realize the daddy's not the daddy, or or they're not the father, or they realize if the divine masculine is a female and gets pregnant, might realize who's the father. There's a lot of toxicity, a lot of drinking. People do a lot of things under the influence of some sort of substances, and alcohol is just a common one. But this is what it causes in the end. It causes awakening. So that is why I've channeled this song, You Live, You Learn. It's ultimately to awaken. It awakens you, it awakens them, but it doesn't happen overnight. And the more that you hold on, especially if you're divine feminine, if you're holding on, waiting for physical union, the divine masculine just stays away. They have to go through a very toxic karmic lesson so that they learn a lesson in love, because ultimately it is a lesson in love. It's also a lesson in unlearning the conditioning. That's why often twin flames will have an age gap. Cultural difference or background look completely different, but they're the same soul. Because the first lesson, it's a lesson in love. So a lot of people have hang-ups on age gaps. We're conditioned, oh, you shouldn't go beyond this or go beyond that. You should stay with someone who's in your status. Stay with someone who's in your culture. Stay with someone who's, you know, in your income bracket. Stay with someone who, you know, is in your age bracket. That's conditioning. And that's fake love. Because that means you're expecting that from another person. Like my mom always used to tell me, go marry your rich man. And I rebelled, being the Aquarian that I am. And I never married anybody for money. I married for love. My mom was a Taurus, though. And Taurus, Venus, you know, Venus loves beautiful things. So for my mom, a nice lifestyle was more important to her than, you know, love. And her last husband was a millionaire. Maybe not a billionaire, but he was up there. He had a lot of money, a lot of properties. She was never happy, and they were never together, and they shared a home, and they were always away from each other. It was just terrible. I wouldn't wish that on nobody. Now, I'm not saying my relationships worked out, but I never got in a relationship for money. I always got into a relationship for love. But there's some shocking news. And this is going to be probably a longer reading, and I am meant to say these messages. So anyone who wants to tell me I'm talking too much, it's not your reading, because I had a whole channeling with the divine this morning, and this whole conversation came out. So it's meant to come out here as well, because a lot of people don't understand a whole twin flame journey. They don't understand it, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. And there are a lot of people who make millions of dollars on the twin flame community. Okay? And that one that's on Netflix is definitely one of them. Your twin flame and you will align naturally if you are incarnated here in another body. You will naturally find yourself. Now, if anybody has experienced any of this, twin flame separation, had to let go of a twin flame to ascend, you know, go through the dark night of the soul. Now, your twin is under pressure, anxiety, decisions, time's running out. And I did channel a reading about that a couple days ago, about time running out. There are people, and you're not completely wrong. If you're a person that says what's meant for you will come, if you're a person that says you can't miss out, you know, on what you meant to do with them. Let me explain something. Biologically, if you're meant to have a child with them, yes, you can run out of time. You can't make your body be child worthy for the rest of your life. Man or woman. Men can do it longer because of the way biology is. But when you write your chart in heaven, or wherever you believe you come from, when you make your chart and you come here, there are places on your chart that are options, which means you make the decision when you're here. The opportunity comes and you make the choice when you're here. So that's free will. That's free will. If someone chooses to stay drunk or high or not learn or grow spiritually, there will be tower moments, and things will not work out, because Spirit is trying to get the soul to, you know, the person to learn a lesson here, to have some sort of experience, because the soul is the experiencer. But the soul cannot experience anything in a body that does nothing but the same shit every day. This is why we need to awaken. This is why there is a lot of miserable people just accepting their everyday crappy life. That's not what this is about. It's to awaken to joy, to happiness, to the universal intelligence. Why are you here? Why do we exist? Why are we just happy going to work, making money, having some meals, maybe having some family interaction, if that happens anymore for some places? Why is it just that? Why does our life just stop there? Why do we stop expanding? That's when a tower comes in. This is not meant to be. I need to make these people's life uncomfortable because they're not growing. They're stuck. They're stuck in the illusion of this. Things that can help. Let's see what the ancestors say. Let's see what the ancestors say. And literally connect with past loved ones. Balance yourself. This will talk about grounding yourself. Family connections. And nature spirits. Things that help are going to connect with people. Not disconnecting from people. Alright, there's a lot of candles here. This is like the Day of the Dead. Sense, feel, and reconnect. None of these people have their eyes open or their lips moving. Light a candle. Sit in silence. Say a prayer if you believe in it, or at least meditate. Sit in silence. Try to clear your mind and your thoughts. See what guidance comes to you. Reconnect. You see how these ancestors are here? It's just a thin veil. You have somebody at home in heaven or wherever you believe the soul goes. It's just a thin veil, folks. Just because you don't see them don't mean they can't see you. Closing the eyes, closing the lips, sitting in silence here. Now, all of these people also have on head protection. Do you ever wonder why people are drawn to have head protection? It's not always just a style to wear a hat. There's something about protecting the crown chakra. That's your divine sacred space. That's where your divine messages go up. Your questions get answered through that same space. Protect your head. When somebody has evil eye or thinks negatively, someone's energy isn't good, guess where it's entering at? Your crown chakra. There's a reason people protect the energy on their head. I personally do sometimes wear hats, but I can't. My head gets hot. But I do use salt baths regularly. Use a salt bath. It cleanses your aura. Or get into some ocean water. Grounding yourself. Lots of things can ground yourself. Go step outside barefooted. Walk around barefooted. That's an easy way to get grounded. Meditation. Hug a tree. Lots of ways to get grounded. Again, connecting with people here. People you still have here. Connect with them too. Your close family, friends. Connect. So many of us are disconnected. You know, we're more connected to a stranger on the internet in some cases. I'm not saying you. I'm just generally talking because I see how it is. Like even with my kids. Most of my kids, their friends are, you know, somewhere else in another part of the country. But connect with like some real humans that are not on the internet. It's great to connect with humans on the internet, but it's great to like connect with a person in your physical space. In nature. These are things that are going to help. These are things that are going to help with your discernment and your messages. And I've already talked about electromagnetic fields. That interrupts the brain natural frequency to pick up stuff. So getting out in nature. I know when I get out in nature, I like to watch the animals. I like to see what kind of messages. I see a lot of crows. I'll go somewhere. Then a crow will show up. Or sometimes if you're out in nature, you might see in springtime or summer, you might see a butterfly. I used to always see like one butterfly doing its thing. And then another butterfly would come along that looked just like it, and then they would go off together. Now, the message I would receive in that is when the butterfly is not waiting, the butterfly is doing its thing, taking care of its needs, which was probably to eat and plus do its purpose here on the earth. That's when they aligned with another butterfly. Another butterfly came in and they left together. There's a very huge spiritual message in that, because so many people wait on another person. The butterfly wasn't sitting on a leaf, though it could, because sometimes that's how they eat. But they don't sit there for years. They don't sit there for months, and they don't even sit there for hours. The butterfly sits there to do something specific, and then it flies off. There's a huge, huge message in not waiting. The butterfly stays. The butterfly gets consumed. There'll be a predator who comes along. That would be karmic. A karmic would come along. Stay in purpose. Stay focused. And I am probably talking to divine feminine energy. We have Queen 8-8. Divine feminine energy. 8-8. 8 is the infinity symbol. It's also a number of abundance. Soul merger. There you go. Just as I just said this whole butterfly story. Divine feminine energy is Empress energy. It is Yin, Y-I-N. She takes charge of her life. She's holding her own wand here. But yet there's like two pillars back here, as if to say like high priestess. Empress energy, divine feminine energy attracts everything. It is all queens embodied into one. Even though this card says queen. It is the queen of queens. And there's flowers. There's peacock feathers here. There's a lot of love. I see a lot of pink, red, pink, a lot of root chakra colors, a lot of the solar plexus chakra colors. Every chakra color is here. And hearts. She embodies love. She is love. And then we have soul merger, ebb and flow. It happens naturally. Not like on Netflix when they find you your twin flame. It doesn't happen that way. Nobody finds you your twin flame or your soulmate. You could go on a blind date set up by friends. It could happen something like that, but not because somebody says, I know this is your person. Only you're going to know if it's your person. Now we're going to get into tarot, and I know I've spent how much? 33 minutes just on that. But I knew that. I knew that these messages had to come out. Some people need clarity on what this is and what's happening. Some people will make comments, you know, how can your message resonate with so many people, but yet everybody is so different? Because certain life lessons are fundamental and they just repeat. And that's why tarot is really timeless. If you don't use astrology with tarot, it's very timeless, because fundamentally we have the same human type of life lessons. They fundamental lessons in life, things that we have to learn, we have to go through and experience for ourselves. And you know, I forgot to mention, I have turning your back over here. And that is someone you've had to turn your back on, loving yourself here. It's put somebody else under pressure. And because you've ascended, they're ascending. And it's most likely now, if you want it, it's going to cause, you two are going to merge together and be one. That means the lesson was learned. You learn something. Number one, you learn to set boundaries if you're a divine feminine energy. You learn to set boundaries. You learn to love yourself and take care of yourself. You stop people pleasing. And then you wanted to find out, well, what is my true purpose? Or what can I focus on so I don't focus on this person? You see how you ascended? Well, then it caused them to ascend. And now they're feeling it. And now they're looking at the mess they got themselves into. But now they're going to ascend, which is you. So you saved yourself in another body. Have joy in that, you know. Ten of Pentacles reverse, Justice reverse, and the Hierophant reverse. Some of these people are going through divorces, or you are, or both of you are, because you guys can mirror each other a lot. And you can have a karmic soulmate who's very much like a twin. You can even have a soulmate who is like a twin in a positive sense, because if your twin is not here incarnated, you can get a high-level soulmate like that. But you still will encounter karmic soulmates. These are tough life lessons with people who are going to be in your life for a specific amount of time until you learn that lesson. There's going to be divorces here. Ten of Pentacles reverse. That's sharing assets. That's something that was supposed to be long-term. Ending. Justice reverse. Libra energy. Hierophant reverse. Taurus energy. And I know people correct me on Hierophant. They say I'm supposed to say Hierophant, but I say Hierophant because in Spanish I pronounce the vowels, and in Spanish I is E, and that's why I say Hierophant. So I'm sorry, I can't say it no other way. I actually have improved on the way I used to say it. I used to say it much stronger, so that's why I say it that way. It's correct in my mind. Tell me about the wealth, which is Ten of Pentacles, but this is not wealth, trust me. Well, there's going to be a loss of wealth from a divorce. Oh yeah, Justice. So somebody here is willing to lose wealth, willing to break up the assets, changing their mind about long-term in a situation to merge with their true counterpart here. That's where this is headed. Tell me about Justice reverse. I know Justice won't come out again because it came out here. So it is about this. Yeah, Eight of Swords. Somebody might even feel stuck because of that. You know, stuck, literally. You know, I can't lose all of my assets, or I don't have enough money if I get divorced, or I have to pay maybe child support. I've even known people who will stay in very toxic relationships just until the children are grown. I mean, I've known several people like this. Several. Because, you know, they didn't want to break up the home. I understand that. But nevertheless, that doesn't mean that people are growing, right? I mean, I do understand it. I did it myself, so I understand it. Ten of Wands. Reverse. I mean, straight up, a marriage is getting dropped here. A marriage, a long-term commitment, something that was going to be long-term. These two physical bodies are aligning. Okay, what I learned in my Twin Flame course, it's one soul in two bodies, and that's a representation. You see the heart chakra, the love, that one consciousness, and you notice there's the consciousness that they share between them. That's the consciousness here in the fifth dimension. But the ultimate goal here is the higher ascension. This is creator. This is the universe. This is consciousness itself. And that's why just being in your calling it's part of it. You see, it aligns, but it's not the whole thing. It's aligning, and it's ascending to consciousness itself. That is the goal. And that's what really brings this. Aligning yourself with the higher consciousness, with the creator, the universe, whatever you believe in, but it's ultimately the reason you're here. It's ultimately the one that has the blueprint to everything about you. That's how this aligns, and it won't align any other way. Definitely not by a man or a woman, not by a practitioner, not by a tarot reader, not by anything. It's raising your consciousness. There's a marriage ending because somebody is doing just that. And nobody ascends, and nobody, I don't ever want to hear somebody say, yeah, I did my ascension 20 years ago. You don't stop. When the day you stop your ascension, that means you've made it to Creator, right? That's kind of an egotistical way to look at it. Who is that smart? The intelligence of the universe. There's nobody on this planet that can even grasp it. Nobody stops ascending unless they get comfortable or the illusion of being stuck, which this was kind of that. Someone does have an illusion of being stuck. You're created by the Creator. You're created by the intelligence of the universe. Trust me, my friends, you're truly not stuck. That is conditioning, or that is not being able to concentrate and have clarity to think of a way out. Get out in nature. Connect with people. Ground yourself. That's where the answers come. Ace of Swords. I just said clarity. Spirit's on it today. Clarity. It's about clarity, truth, being honest with oneself. Give me a card for that, please. Well, that was easy. Clarity. Queen of Wands reverse. For me, it's the third party. I'm not happy being aligned with this. For some, it can be literal Aries, but I don't read the Queen of Wands as always Aries unless Aries wants to keep popping out. For me, I read the Queens and Kings as a particular type of energy of the suits. And this element, fire, for me, it's always the third party unless I see other cards. But for this about a marriage ending, about a relationship ending, a long term, it has a lot to do with it was karmic anyway. Someone is seeing that some clarity about a third person. And it could have something to do with somebody could have got drunk, had an affair, had some reckless sex. For some, maybe there's a love child. But nevertheless, that person is connecting with you in the fifth dimension because that person is choosing you. True colors. Something gets exposed. It's literally, right here. Somebody sees the true colors, the true situation, clarity, possibly with this person. You ever notice, I mean, in my generation, I don't feel it's that way anymore. We've raised our consciousness a lot, but in my generation, it was always, don't get pregnant unless you're married. It was always that. Nobody even pushed college much. It was always, because I was raised by my grandparents. So I was raised by the folks from the Great Depression, okay? And, but the truth of the matter is, it's when you live with somebody that you see their true colors. You wait a few months after living with somebody. It's not going to be like it was when they first moved in. Or sometimes when someone gets married, they feel it's safe to come out and be however they are, or they'll follow a model like their parents. Their parents or grandparents might be the model of what they feel a relationship should be. True colors come out. Things change. There's something about that. Somebody's getting some clarity, like, I don't want to be with this person, not the rest of my life. Tell me about the past. The Therapist. The Queen of Cups reverse. Queen of Cups in this deck is a therapist. Maybe somebody went to therapy or needs therapy, but it's a Queen of Cups. It's water energy. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, specifically Pisces. But in the past, what I'm seeing here is you turned your back. So in the past, the Queen of Cups in reverse for me, in a positive sense, is a person who turned their love and their energy back inward. If you stopped waiting on a person and you turned your back and you started giving love to yourself, you got into your Empress, divine, feminine, yin energy, does not matter about gender. It's causing all of this change because you would have done this already. Tell me about the and a Knight of Cups, possibly a younger person or less mature person, because there's an age difference right here, is taking notice now. Oh, they're not focused on me, they're focused on themselves. Guess what it talks about on the bottom of the deck? Everything I've been talking about here. Judgment, awakening. This being you, the awakened, you heard, it's usually a trumpet. You heard the trumpet sound off. You heard the horn blow, right? You awoken. This person over here who is not awoken, they would have came into your life to awaken you instinctively, or you would have just been lined up. You could have, most of them, people meet at work or through a person or a friend or something. But most of the time it's through work. Then changes happen in your life. You started awakening and ascending. Well, guess who's about to awaken and ascend, or has recently, or is about to? Like I said, timelines are different. It's other you. If you're in the energy of being upset with them, holding them accountable for your unhappiness, you're not ready for union, not physical union. You're already in union, but you're not ready for physical union. This is going to be people who have truly just said, you know, no matter what, I just have love for the person. I don't even care anymore. I don't care to be with them, to not be with them. I know what this is about now. I know that I'm just focusing every day on going up, up, and up, ascending. I'm not angry at them. I'm not even angry at the karmic. I'm not angry at my karmics. I don't even care. I got love and I got peace for everybody, and I'm just moving up. That's someone who is truly awakened, but not finished, right? It's a process. It's a continuation. And now this person is doing it too. And it's a beautiful thing, because that is unconditional love. It's like saying, you know what? I don't care you ghosted me. I don't care you got someone pregnant. I don't care. You know, I just don't care anymore. I turned my back, obviously, because you're living a life. You're obviously not connecting with me because you don't want to physically connect, but obviously you guys are very connected. You guys are you're going to be dreaming about this person. If you think you're dreaming about this person, you're not. You guys are hanging out because the soul doesn't sleep. You guys are just hanging out, having a great time. Probably talking about how your physical avatars is screwing shit up down here. This is the illusion. You're just experiencing things. It's ascension. I feel I'm talking to someone who's ascended and continuing, and they're really ascending. And they're just having nothing but love, just feeling love and contentment. Like, no matter what, I'm okay. I am love. I am giving love and I'm attracting love. And that's this yin energy. What crowns this? The Lovers is in reverse. The Star is in reverse. I don't have my Aquarius. My Aquarius turn their back. This is Three of Wands reversed. Now, in the song that I channeled by Alanis Morissette, she talks about something about the fire alarms go off or something like that. I don't know, but it's like you turned your back, focusing on yourself. This person is like the Star Aquarius, the Lovers Gemini. It's reversed, but the Lovers is a twin flame card. It's this close connection, but these two are also married. So remember, this could be a double meaning. Spirit often will talk to me through double meanings. I'll often get more than one meaning for a card. So I'm going to give you what I'm getting here. There is a marriage that's ending, and that would represent that. But the other representation is it's ending because you've ascended, and now it's time for alignment. Like I said, this isn't going to be the reading for the person who's still blaming the other person, talking about it, and says they don't want to be with them. This is going to be for the ones who are in the frame of mind like, I just love the person. I don't even care. They had to go through what they went through to grow and learn, and so did I. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure they have too, but I just still miss the person, and I still love them, and I just don't care. It's more for that energy. Someone doesn't have your energy, and it looks like your divine counterpart, your true match, which is yourself. Which is why people wonder why they get so addicted to that person. Well, they get physically addicted to the physical person, but it's because you're attracted to your own energy. But the other thing is, when you push that energy away, you're also rejecting yourself. You want to talk about something to mess with your mind? You want to think about something? Think about that. The runner chaser is really a rejection of self. Give me a card to clarify that. A lot of major arcana here. I know there's going to probably be a tower that happens or has happened because too much major arcana. And probably the tower is going to have to do with the third party and some sort of indiscretion or secret or infidelity that gets found out. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles reversed, the Hierophant reverse. And the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups can be a child. And that could be a love child. Something gets found out about it. Okay? But it can also be doing what you love. We have the Ten of Pentacles reverse, the Hierophant reverse. So if there's not a marriage ending because of some information about a child, there's a marriage ending because somebody wants to be happy with you. Ten of Pentacles is reversed here twice. Somebody does not want long term. Somebody does not want to continue in a marriage. But we got on the bottom of the deck here, folks. I knew there was going to be a tower somewhere. We got Ruin. It's the Ten of Swords right next to the tower reverse. They could have just went through a tower, or they could be about ready to go through it. Depends on the timeline, but it's a deception. And it's going to be rough. It's going to be instant and quick. It's finding out about something deceiving and finding it out in an instant. And that moment, everything changes. What's the future? This deck. What's the future? We have the Nine of Swords and the reverse. The near future is the Eight of Wands reverse. Let's see why it's reverse. The Eight of Wands reverse for me can mean no communication. It could mean also a lot of bad news, or something slows down. All right. The Eight of Wands and the upright, it's going pretty fast. It's very good communication. There's an accord going on between you and whatever information's coming in. So it's in reverse. So it could be something that's happening because a lot of their energy is coming out. So it could be finding out something here all at once. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I just saw the Five of Wands. This literally was like this, and it was reverse. And then it went like this on top of Soul Merger. Okay. This is a lot of stress. This is a lot of stress. It could be messages. Stressful messages. Okay. It could be. But it causes a Knight of Pentacles, Virgo energy in the reverse. And the Lovers again in the upright and Empress. Whatever the masculine, yang energy finds out, it helps your union. It's supposed to have happened. They were supposed to go through it, in other words. If anyone's in a mindset of, well, I don't want to be second choice, remember, that's ego. That's not unconditional love. That's ego. That's expecting to be first. That is looking beyond the fact that this person had to learn lessons and tie up karmic loose ends, you see? When somebody says, well, they did this, they get what they deserve. When somebody says, I'm never taking them back, they put me through too much. Assuming it is, number one, your true twin flame, because a karmic soulmate can mimic a twin flame. But like I said, there's a lot of arguing and a lot of sex. True twin flame connection is really very nurturing and supportive and challenging. Whatever this person finds out, it pushes your union together, but it's not because you were second choice. Look at the higher meaning why this all happened. It happened because you were unawakened to begin with. They came in to cause your awakening. You went through the dark night of the soul. You gave up on them and you started focusing on yourself. Meanwhile, they were tying up a karmic loose end. They were learning a tough lesson in love. Now that you've done your work and now that they've learned their lesson, guess what, folks? It's only if you want it, though. You can still refuse it. But it was all supposed to happen. No accidents. No coincidence. There you go. You're doing your thing. Might be at work. You might see them. You could have worked together with this person, but it's a collaboration. This person looks at the other person like, wow. You see, like the butterfly. The butterfly does its own thing, and then another butterfly comes along with it. They take off together. You're the butterfly doing your own thing. And then you just look up and they're there. You just look up and you see a message on your phone. Or in one of your, wherever you hang out, social media. Tell me about the self position. Like I said, this is not going to be a fast reading. Not even, mine aren't fast, but definitely it's about happiness here. Look at that. Celebrations. Doing the thing. Being present in the moment. Not tucked away on the internet looking for an escapisms. It's connecting. It's having fun. It's everything that one wanted here. Yeah, and it's a second chance. This second time, if you allow it, it'll be everything you wanted. Because they learned a very big lesson and you ascended. Let's see environment. I just heard the payoff of a lifetime. Yeah. This person's learning a very big lesson in love. Two of Cups reverse. They know that they've lost these connections, or the connection with yourself. The Queen of Wands here. The third party person. Literal Aries, and then Strength card. Reverse. Card of Leo, but the Knight of Cups. I would not be surprised if one of this person's vices were alcohol and sex addiction. Would not be surprised at all. Somebody is learning why the connections have failed and why they're not with you and why their connections don't last in general. We have the seducer. They're weak when it comes to that. The person can't drink and handle, keep their composure. They have a weakness when it comes to, and that person's looking at, I feel they have a sex addiction. And they got hooked up with somebody who looked very good looking and appeasing, but it was a nightmare. There was no love there for sure. And it definitely wasn't a connection with that Two of Cups reverse. But they looked good. They looked real good. And this person was weak for that person. And they decide, I'm going to go do it. This person is too good looking for me not to sleep with. This, you know, and the alcohol was talking or whatever was talking. And my phone's going off. So there's your confirmation on that. But there was no connection like they have with you. But they had a weakness when it come to probably liquor and good looking people. And they just wanted to, you know, hook up. Well, guess what? Looks like they got hooked up real good. That was the environment. And they're taking a look at it. With that Two of Swords. Look at this. How it landed here. Yeah. They forfeited a relationship. They forfeited what would have been the Ten of Pentacles with you. This beginning with you and them would have led to long term. They would have wanted to connect. They would have wanted to commit to you if they would have allowed themselves to get to know you beyond the physical. Maybe you and them did get to a physical connection. Sometimes twin flames, they don't ever sleep together. I never slept with my twin flame. I met them at work, but some twin flames, they have that thing and they do the deed and they have this attraction and crazy chemistry. But it didn't get beyond that. So either way, they're looking at it didn't get off the ground with you because they got involved with someone else. And they didn't give you a chance. But damn it, if they did, they would have realized you were their Ten of Pentacles and that was the very beginning of what would have been beautiful. They're in the Nine of Cups reverse. This isn't what I wanted. I didn't want this person. I see this person's true colors now. What's the hope and the fear? The Sun reverse. That's the hope and the fear. Wanting to be completely and emotionally be happy here. Have happiness. Or, you know, if there's a child involved, you know, wanting the child, but maybe it's not going to happen. Trying to go on their intuition here. Maybe they didn't follow it. Tell me about the Sun. It is the hope and the fear. This is the Three of Wands. So I feel that they're hopeful because that Three of Wands is the future. I feel someone's hopeful that this will work out. They're doing a lot of watching you, but they're resisting you. Or vice versa. What's the outcome looking like here? What's the outcome? What's going to happen? Keep in mind free will. Because of free will, tarot is never 100% an outcome. Tarot is just reading the energy according to everything going on here. I like it. Somebody realizes here, we have from the bottom of the deck, The Hanged Person reverse, which is Pisces energy. This is someone who's wasted a lot of time. This is someone who sacrificed their happiness. And they realize that this energy here, which is the Dancer, they realized they had I feel sex addiction. They realized they had an addiction, but it wasn't love. They realized they got into a lot of connections because of the way the person looked, or because they would drink and they would get turned on or whatever, but it wasn't love. It wasn't love, and they realized that. Now we got 5 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, but it's reverse. And then beyond that, we have the 4 of Cups, and it's luxury, but in this, you got someone sitting around doing nothing, to realizing, hey, I do have somebody out here. I had someone who loved me. If they still do, give me some cards to clarify that. And we're about over this reading. Tower reverse. 10 of Cups. They realize that they want love. And they don't want the sex addiction. They don't want to just have hookups because people look good. They realize they don't want to drink and lose their composure, okay? Lose their sense of who they are. They realize something. They want to avoid the Tower here. And the Tower is their happiness, their forever happiness. And they know they've got to change. They've got to change when it comes to the connection with you, 6 of Cups. They've got to change. Because if not, this Tower for this person, your divine counterpart, is going to be a rock bottom. This Tower goes all the way to the bottom of the ocean. Deep. Mars energy, Scorpio, Aries. Pluto, remember Pluto's entering into Aquarius. So I feel there's going to be, if you've done your work, you've been ascending, I feel there's going to be a lot of positive changes for you, Aquarius. But somebody's going to try to avoid going through hitting rock bottom. Because it's going to be a very tough realization when this person realizes they sacrificed their time, their happiness, all for an addiction, all for a cheap thrill. That stuff ain't everlasting. They're quick. It's like, you know, fast food, fast relationships. They're quick. They don't sustain nothing because it's not built on love. It's built on sex. It's built on a good time. It's built on alcohol or drugs. It's not built on love. They're going to realize it. They also know they need to change. They need to change if they want long-term happiness. They need to change if they want you. So, advice. Finally, to the end. Even I'm tired of this reading. Finally, advice. Highest good. Can't make this up. Highest good. I am a conduit. Change me, divine beloved, into one who can let you act through me. I offer myself to you. May I be a conduit for your blessings. Use me for the highest good. It's hard for me to read those little letters on top of that green, but that's basically saying your advice. Ask to be used for the highest good. Then follow what you're guided to do. Stuff might pop up into your feed. You might get a download. You might have a place. This looks like a little altar. You might have a little altar, a place where you go pray or do your things. Like, this is considered an altar. My spiritual table. If you do something like that, I suggest doing it away from Wi-Fi. You know, this person's outside. You're not going to get all the blockages. If you're having a hard time connecting with your intuition, get away from electronics. It's going to greatly improve. And put some water. Get some water. A big cup of water or something. Water is also a conductor for electricity. And get away from electronics. All right. One more piece of advice. Right here. And as I talk about water, protecting treasure. And also head protection. Okay. Something here. Protect your crown chakra. protect your crown chakra. Protect it. Just like these people, protect your crown chakra. Now we have 39. If you've waited this long through the reading, God bless you and thank you so much. If not, I understand why. But, you know, like I said, you might just not be ready for it. Protecting treasure. You are always protected and divinely directed. Although this is a time of great risk, know that it's a fundamental level you are able to move forward safely and securely. This proverbial nest egg is safe and sound no matter the fluctuations in the world. Guardian angels and other guides are whispering to you, making you aware of their protective presence. Your loyalty is an important theme right now. Nurture that which you hold dear. This is a good time to strengthen bonds of friendship and ensure their integrity. If you feel tested right now, know the true and loyal heart always achieves its aim. Take refuge under an angel's wing. You are not alone and have no need to fear. Embrace your courage. That's your reading, you guys. I love you and namaste, my friends.